Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be going over the brand new purple palette from Viseart, also known as the Violet, no, not Violet, Violette Entendu? I don't know. I can't pronounce things in English, let alone another language. I tried. Give me credit for that, please. I tried really hard, but from now on, the Violette or the purple palette. This palette was sent to me in PR from Viseart, so thank you to them. And I have to say, I didn't even realize this was already out. I get PR from Viseart, but it tends to be a little bit behind. No problem, I'm not complaining at all. I'm always grateful. It's just that I wasn't expecting to already have this at my door because I thought that it wasn't out yet. I was going through Trend Moods, Instagram, and yeah, I did not put it together. I didn't even look. And then I was ordering all my things. I was opening up mail and I saw this. I was like, wait, it's out. I think I even got a comment saying, just so you know, Mel, the Viseart palette is out. You probably know that now. Yeah. I caught on. It just took me a while. Anywho, I'm going to be going over this. I'm going to show you how I created this look and I will give you guys my thoughts and comparisons to the Liaison palette because this palette was inspired by it. Information first, the Violette palette is $44. You open it from the tab and you have this easel style packaging and then a really nice mirror on the inside and then these gorgeous shades. We have neutrals, we have purples, mattes, shimmers, all of the gorgeousness. And I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the swatches while I read to you the description. The palette includes cult favorite hues from Liaison to honor our purple eyeshadow lovers' requests. The Violette extension was created as an elevated pro-luxe everyday stealth chic option for effortless daytime to essential twilight looks. The pans are now magnetized. It was not in the Liaison palette, and this packaging replaces the plastic clamshell packaging and reduces our carbon footprint by using ethically sourced recycled paper. I will be showing you guys the swatch comparisons of Liaison against the Violette palette, but I'm going to do that when I give you guys my thoughts after the demo. You're getting 1.5 grams of product in each of the pans, which again are removable, so you can move them around however you'd like, swap things out from other palettes and whatnot. And these are the same size as the Petite Fours that were just released. I don't actually know if any of these shades are technically new or not. I couldn't find that information. Please fill me in if you do know. I can tell you that some of the names in here are the same as Liaison, whereas some of them are changed. And then I noticed that this shade right here, whenever I was putting it on my eyes, I immediately thought of the Grande 2, and swatching them side by side, they appear to be exactly the same. And I'll show all of that, of course, again, whenever I give you guys my thoughts. And with that being said, let's go ahead and jump straight into the demo, and then we'll talk about it. REPHR number 15, going in with the shade Blushing. I'm going to apply this to the outer corner, kind of blend it in. And then I know you guys know what I'm about to do. Not just because it's over here, but because it's what I do every time. I'm gonna work the shade upward to use it as my transition. But I'm not gonna be taking it all of the way in because I'm gonna use a lighter purple, or I guess a brighter purple. After I have gotten this one layer, and I'm bringing the excess inward, but not all the way in the inner corner. I'm going to build it up just a little bit. And again, I'm going to start lower on the lid. Wayne Goss 26S, first shade in the palette called Embrace. I'm going to go right around the edges of the shade we laid down previously. Going back in with Blushing on a REPHR number 3, I'm going to take this on the outer portion of the lower lash line and drag it about 3/4 of the way in. Next up, I'm going to take Haze on a REPHR number 14. And I'm going to take this and apply it right on the inner portion of my crease. I'm going to be blending into Blushing and then lightly blending upward. Back in with the REPHR 15, no additional product. Just making sure that the purple is blended in with the other shade, so it's a soft transition. Going back in with Haze on a Tom Ford number 12, I'm going to stamp this along the lower lash line on the front portion. Elderberry on a REPHR number 14. I am going to deepen up the crease and kind of smoke out this outer portion. Elderberry, every time I hear the name, or you know, the berry, elderberry, it reminds me when I had pneumonia last year, the end of the year. I think I referred to it as a lung infection. Oh, that took forever for me to get over, but my friend, she was determined that elderberry was going to make me better. And I'm not disregarding the fact that some people can, you know, that it will benefit or it has benefits. Honestly, I don't actually know. All I know is it didn't work. And my friend, she was just so determined. It was so sweet. But every time I see elderberry now, I think about when I had pneumonia. Grabbing a little bit more. I'm trying not to get it too far down onto the lid. But I do want to kind of round this out. Wayne Goss number 19, going in with Passion. Very curious to see how this performs. I love this type of shade. It doesn't always work out well, which is pretty true for most purples actually, when it comes to mattes especially. Oh, I love this color. I'm just kind of tapping onto the lid. And then lightly blending into the last shade. Jezebel on a soft shader from Sonia G. I am going to tap this on the center part of the lid, right over the last shade. This reminds me of a shade that is in, is it the Grande 2? Is that the one that's all the shimmer? I think it's the Grande 2. I'm gonna build this up a little bit. And I was just about to say that I wasn't getting a lot of fallout, which was really great. I mean, I got some, but not a lot. And then, leave it to a shimmer. I feel like I always make a mess on this eye versus the other one. But this is always the eye that I do the tutorial on. REPHR number 21 in the shade Wink. I am gonna place this. Whoop, I think I have too much on my brush. I'm going to place this on the front portion. If I remember correctly, I needed to get that palette out first. The Liaison, I think it had metallics in it. I'm going to try my finger or something with this shade. Violette Wet on a Tom Ford number 12. I'm going to take this and push it right up against the lower lash line. First shade in the middle row, REPHR number 21. I'm going to take a little bit of this and highlight my brow arch. Lastly, I'm going to take Wink. I'm going to use it wet this time, and I'm going to use the flat definer from Sonia G to place it on the inner corner. After that, I'm going to go add on liner and mascara. Now for my 2 cents. The first thing I want to mention is if you already have Liaison, you don't need this. It's an extension. There are shades that are the same. There's different formulas, but overall, I don't think that you need both of them. However, if you missed the Liaison, you probably want to get your hands on this. There are some differences though. As I was playing with the textures in here and I was kind of feeling around of the Liaison, I noticed some differences. Let me go ahead and show you that, and I'll show you guys the swatch comparisons right after. Here is my Liaison palette, and I've taken the little plastic sheet off so that you guys could see without the glare. With Violette right on top of Liaison, I'm sure you guys can see It's basically the same palette with extensions, and then there's a few shades that are different. These 3 mattes, skipping the third one, are the same as the ones in the Liaison. There's slight texture differences, but they're the same shades. In the second row, the very first shade has the same name, but they are definitely different. I thought this silvery shade was going to be more similar than what it actually was when I went to go swatch it. This one right here has like a little bit more of a sparkle to it, whereas this one's definitely more metallic. Before I show you the side-by-side swatch comparisons, I want to quickly show you on my hand so you can see the reflection. See the differences of these shimmers and the metallics. In the Liaison, I'm going to swatch this row and then this shade right here. First shade in the palette. Do you see how intense this is? And then I'm going to do the same thing with the well, let me wipe off my finger. With the Violette, this one. So you can see this one has shine, but they are different shades. I'm sure you guys can see that. This one over here is a little lighter. This one is a little deeper. I'm looking like, did I pick up the right one? I did. So those are the first 2. Then this silver out of Liaison, this one, and Wink from the new Violette. You can see that does not have the same intensity. Let me build it up just a little bit. And I had to build it up on my eyes. This definitely applied better whenever I used it with my finger. I didn't try it wet though, so that could probably help as well. Then I'm going to go in with this purple, put it here. And then the other one, this one, which I really think this is so pretty. It has little shimmers in there, glittered. It's so pretty. There you go. These are more similar than I think these are. And I don't know why these weren't named the same. Then I want to quickly swatch Jezebel against the one in the Grande Pro, number 2. This is it. It's this shade right here in Grande 2. I love the shift, the purple and the blue. It kind of gives me Stars and Rockets vibes, but more pink. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the swatch comparisons of Liaison up against Violette. And you'll notice that the names are the same with certain shades and then others have been changed. I noticed the different textures and some shades being a little bit more subtle. I definitely think that the Liaison has more intensity when it comes to the metallics or the shimmers. This one is softer. So that is something to keep in mind. I think this palette is beautiful. I love this look. I love the way that this turned out. I love the amount of depth I was able to create on this outer corner. This shade right here is so gorgeous. I love a berry fuchsia purple. It just gives me the feels, and it applied, and I feel like it stands out. When I'm looking at my eye, I see that. And I really, really like it. But I do have to acknowledge that I prefer the metallics in the Liaison palette. Is it a deal breaker? Absolutely not. I think this palette is so, so beautiful. The only shade that I'm just kind of like, I wish it was a little bit better is this shade, Wink. I forgot the name. I had to look at the box to figure that out. It's not a bad shade. Like I said, it definitely applies better with the finger. But I would prefer it to be more creamy, like the one in Liaison. When I touch that one, it's just a creamy goodness. It's going to be more for people that do not want that intense silver. And I know that's more of a preferred look. So it's going to be a preference thing. That's my only complaint with the palette though. So I really can't complain. And you can use that, again, wet or over a sticky base and it will be more intense. Let me show you what it would look like wet. I'm using an Esom T43. It's still kind of sheer, but it has more shine with it wet. Let me build it up just a little bit. Yeah, it's definitely a buildable shade for sure. And over top of my tattoo, I don't know if you guys can see it on camera, but I see a little purple, like a little purple hue. It could be because of my tattoo, but that's really pretty. It's much smoother wet, and it definitely has more shine. Now, I don't think that is the tattoo. I think that's actually the shade. Yeah, because I mean, I saw little sparkles in there. I'm going to use my hand and my finger to build this up now. Let's see. Put it on top of that. Yeah, it's got a shift in there. I wonder if this is one of the duochromes. That would make sense, Mel. That would make sense. Final thoughts. The palette is gorgeous. I love this look. I love this shade. This shade right here, I forgot to mention, I really enjoy. The sparkle in it I think is so pretty. And then this whole top row. Ooh, this one reminds me. Oh, yep. I need to get, not my final thoughts. I meant to show you guys Midsummer. When I first saw the top row of Violette, I immediately thought of this one. And I gotta tell you, it's not the same. It's not the same. Hold on. Hold please. The shades in Midsummer have a little bit more of like a pinky brown, where these have more of that gray mauvey undertone. So I was swatching them side by side. They're not the same. So just in case anybody was wondering. Back to my final thoughts. This is definitely a palette that I would recommend. I think it's gorgeous. I love this look. I know I've already said that, but I really, really love this look. I think it's so pretty. And then just keep in mind whether or not you already have the Liaison, or if you do like to have shimmers that are a little less intense than what are in the Liaison. But this one, if I had to pick though, I think I would rather have this one because I like all of the extensions in here. So with the exception of the silver shade, I prefer this one because I love these extra shades in here. Yeah, okay, so there it is. I think that wrapped up my thoughts quite nicely. Let me know what you guys think about this palette. What do you think about this look? Let me know if you're picking this up or if you're not interested, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye, guys.